Imagine stepping out into your backyard. It's this gorgeous, warm summer afternoon.
Oh, perfect weather.
Right, perfect weather. You've got an ice-cold drink in your hand. You close your eyes, take a deep breath of that fresh air, and suddenly, bam, you are hit with this physical wall of it.
The worst smell imaginable.
The absolute, unmistakable, stomach-churning scent of rotten eggs and raw sewage. It just completely ruins the moment. I mean, it is the absolute homeowner's nightmare.
It really is. It's a very specific, visceral kind of panic, because you're not just smelling something unpleasant. You are smelling a literal biological warning sign.
Yeah.
And it's bubbling up from right beneath your own lawn.
And it forces you to just confront the reality of what's buried out there. So, welcome to the deep dive, everyone. Today, we are unpacking exactly why our homes sometimes, well, betray us with these terrible smells.
They definitely do betray us.
Right. We're going to explore why the most instinctual DIY fixes completely fail. And we'll look at whether biological maintenance, specifically this popular treatment called SEPTIFIX that I've been reading so much about in these notes, whether it actually holds the secret to a happy, odor-free yard.
It's a fascinating topic.
It is. Because looking through all these homeowner accounts and system breakdowns today, this glaring theme just keeps emerging. We have to completely shift our perspective.
Oh, 100%.
We need to stop thinking of a septic tank as some, magical bottomless trash can buried in the dirt. And we have to start treating it like what it actually is, the house's delicate digestive system.
I love that. That analogy of the house's digestive system is honestly the perfect lens for this entire topic.
It makes so much sense, right?
It really does, because human digestion relies on a very specific, carefully balanced biome to function.
Right, like gut flora.
Exactly. When your gut flora is thrown off, you experience uncomfortable symptoms. And in the case of your home's plumbing, that symptom is that horrific smell.
That rotten egg wall.
Yeah. To banish the odor, we have to move past the symptom itself and actually understand the microscopic ecosystem breaking things down underground.
Well, I was looking at the early warning signs, and it rarely starts with a full backyard takeover, does it? It kind of sneaks up on you.
It's very insidious, yeah.
A homeowner might notice just a faint, musty drain smell lingering near the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Or maybe a whiff of sulfur in the yard right after a heavy rain.
Yes, that wet soil smelling like a swamp near the tank area, that is a classic early indicator.
Really?
Oh, yeah. A healthy septic system should work in total silence, and it should produce zero strong odors. None.
So no smell at all is the baseline.
Right. When those smells start creeping in, it's basically an SOS signal. It means the beneficial bacteria inside the tank are losing a battle.
Wow.
The entire tank relies on those bacteria to digest organic waste naturally. I mean, they are the engine. Without them, the system is literally just a holding tank.
Just a concrete box of garbage.
Basically, yeah.
What's wild to me looking at these sources is that our modern household habits are essentially waging chemical warfare on that very engine.
Oh, absolutely.
The list of daily culprits is staggering. I mean, we're pouring bleach, antibacterial cleaners, heavy chemical degreasers, and, concentrated laundry detergents down our drains every single day.
Every day.
So let's really unpack this, because the irony here is just heavy.
It is.
We buy these powerful antibacterial cleaners specifically to keep our houses smelling fresh and sterile.
Right.
But you're saying those exact same cleaners are causing the underground chemical warfare that makes the whole property smell significantly worse.
It is the ultimate paradox of modern cleaning. I mean, our quest for a perfectly sterile living space directly sabotages the necessary natural decay that has to happen down in that tank.
So we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot.
Exactly. When you pour heavy bleach or scrub a sink with antibacterial foam, those chemicals don't magically deactivate when they slip past the drain cover.
Right, they keep going.
They enter the septic tank and do exactly what they were engineered to do. They obliterate bacteria.
Wow.
But in that underground environment, you absolutely require those bacteria to survive.
So we are essentially nuking our own workforce on a daily basis.
That's a great way to put it. Nuking the workforce. And the cascade of failures begins immediately.
How fast?
Well, when you wipe out that microbial workforce, the actual decomposition of waste physically stops.
Oh, so it just sits there?
Yes. Meanwhile, you're still adding new waste to the system with every flush and every single dish you wash.
Obviously, yeah. We don't stop living.
Right. So a physical buildup accelerates. And even if a homeowner is incredibly diligent, they never flush non-biodegradable items. Everyday organic waste creates a massive hurdle.
Just from normal stuff?
Just from normal stuff.
Yeah.
Grease from pans, Microscopic soap scum, food particles from the garbage disposal,
Oh,
and excess toilet paper.
oh,
It all
oh.
begins to bind together, forming these incredibly thick, suffocating layers of sludge at the bottom of the tank.
And as that sludge layer gets thicker and thicker, it creates what the experts call the oxygen problem,
Yes,
right?
the oxygen problem. Oxygen is basically the invisible linchpin holding the whole operation together.
Okay, how so?
So as the sludge layer condenses, the beneficial aerobic bacteria, the ones that need oxygen to survive, they start dying off from the bleach and the chemical exposure we talked about.
Right, they're being nuked.
Exactly. And the available oxygen inside the tank plummets. It becomes a severely oxygen-starved environment.
Which sounds bad.
It's terrible. When that happens, anaerobic conditions completely take over.
Wait, anaerobic, so we're transitioning to bacteria that actually thrive in a totally suffocated environment.
Yes, and anaerobic breakdown is notoriously problematic for a septic system.
Why?
First off, it is incredibly slow, meaning your sludge layer just keeps growing and growing.
Oh boy.
Second, and this is the kicker, the metabolic byproduct of anaerobic bacteria is trapped gas, specifically hydrogen sulfide.
The rotten egg smell.
That is your rotten egg smell. Exactly.
So it's basically bacteria burps.
Pretty much. Those gases build up immense pressure under the sludge,
Mm.
and eventually that pressure has to vent.
It has to go somewhere.
Right. It forces its way back up through your home's P-traps, out of your toilets, or it just pushes directly up to the soil into your yard.
Wow. I was actually reading an account from a homeowner in Florida dealing with this exact nightmare.
Oh, Florida heat.
Yeah. He said, the smell outside our house kept getting worse every summer. We thought the tank was physically failing, but the technician said the system was just completely overloaded with buildup and needed better maintenance
See, the timing of that is textbook biology.
because of the summer heat.
Yes, the extreme heat acts like an incubator. It accelerates whatever anaerobic activity is still happening, forces those trapped hydrogen sulfide gases to rapidly expand,
Just baking it.
literally baking it, and it pushes that overpowering sulfurous smell right to the surface. The system is quite literally suffocating and screaming for oxygen.
But, okay, if the tank is suffocating and dying from an overload of chemicals, why is our first instinct as homeowners to pour more harsh chemicals down the drain the second we smell something foul?
Oh, I know.
Because the illusion of the quick fix is powerful, but looking at these notes, it seems to backfire spectacularly.
It really comes down to human psychology. When confronted with a terrible odor, our natural impulse is to obliterate it.
Right. Kill it with fire.
Exactly. We want to pour something caustic down the pipe to just burn away the bad smell or flood it with synthetic fragrances.
People immediately grab the industrial chemical drain cleaners or heavy-duty bleach. They pour these neon gels down the sink, hoping to just melt whatever's causing the stench.
Yes, the neon gels.
But while this might mask the odor for a few days, it further destroys whatever fragile bacterial balance was left. And the smell inevitably returns, and usually it's even stronger than before.
Oh, way stronger. Because by pouring those heavy drain cleaners, you've just dropped another bomb on an already decimated ecosystem.
It's just sad.
You've killed off the absolute last remaining beneficial bacteria fighting to keep the sludge at bay.
So the chemical route is a total disaster. But what about the natural route? Because the internet is overflowing with DIY natural remedies for this.
Oh, the internet hacks.
Right. The reigning champion of internet plumbing hacks is dumping a mountain of baking soda followed by a gallon of white vinegar down the drain.
Oh, sure. It creates that massive, satisfying foaming action.
The volcano.
Yes. It visually looks like it's doing something incredibly powerful.
It feels like you're a scientist solving the problem in your kitchen. But listen to this experience from a Texas homeowner who went down that exact rabbit hole.
Let's hear it.
They wrote, "We tried every homemade septic remedy we found online. Some helped for a week or two, but the smell always came back. So if baking soda and vinegar is natural and safe, why doesn't that trick work for septic odors?"
Because treating a suffocating septic tank with baking soda is like brushing your teeth to cure food poisoning.
Oh, wow.
You're treating the entrance, not the gut. Baking soda and vinegar might do a fantastic job of scouring the immediate buildup in the curved P-trap right beneath your sink.
Okay, so it cleans the sink.
Right. That's why the smell might vanish for a few days. You clean the local pipe. But that mixture does absolutely nothing to penetrate or solve the deeper structural issues inside a 1,000-gallon concrete box buried in your yard.
It's just a drop in the ocean.
Literally.
Right.
It cannot break down 3 feet of dense sludge or restore an oxygen-depleted environment where those anaerobic gases are actually being produced.
Which brings me to the most shocking revelation I found in these materials. Frequent pumping.
Ah, yes.
We are always told that pumping the tank is the ultimate maintenance step. Yet, homeowners are paying hundreds of dollars to hire a truck, pump the tank completely dry, and finding that the terrible odors return surprisingly fast.
All the time.
I have to push back on this, though. If you literally vacuum the tank completely empty, how on earth does the smell come back in a matter of weeks? Shouldn't a perfectly clean slate fix everything?
It's a fantastic question.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings us right back to the digestive system analogy we started with. Vacuuming out the waste is strictly a mechanical fix.
Right.
You've basically emptied the stomach.
Yeah.
But if you don't actively replace the beneficial flora, you are left with a biologically dead tank.
A completely sterile environment.
Exactly. So let's look at what happens with the very next flush. New, undigested organic waste enters this completely dead concrete vault. There is no bacterial workforce waiting there to break it down anymore.
Because they got vacuumed out.
Right. So it just sits there, completely stagnant. It immediately starts accumulating as new sludge. The oxygen levels are instantly depleted again, and the system reverts straight back into those anaerobic, foul-smelling conditions.
Wow.
You've restarted the entire horrific cycle from scratch, but without any biological defense mechanism to slow it down.
So mechanical pumping and harsh chemicals fail because they don't address the root biological imbalance. A biological problem demands a biological solution. Homeowners who are actually successfully beating this issue are shifting their approach. They're looking for ways to work continuously with the system. And this is where the treatment SEPTIFIX enters the conversation.
Yeah. When we examine the mechanics of how a product like SEPTIFIX operates, it is engineered specifically to address that biological dead zone we just outlined.
It's presented as a monthly tablet designed to naturally support septic function rather than just temporarily masking the symptoms.
Exactly.
And the actual application is incredibly simple. There's no mixing powders, no measuring liquids, no special tools required. A homeowner simply flushes one tablet down the toilet once a month.
Very straightforward.
But what is actually happening once that tablet travels down the pipe? Like, how does a single tablet reverse a dead tank scenario?
Well, the simplicity ensures homeowners actually keep up with the maintenance, right? But the science happening inside the tank is this fascinating two-punch mechanism. Yes. Once the tablet dissolves, it doesn't just introduce a single element. It simultaneously releases highly concentrated beneficial bacteria and a massive burst of oxygen.
Oh, wow. So instead of repeatedly nuking the tank with bleach, dropping a tablet is essentially giving your home's digestive system a monthly probiotic pill combined with a literal breath of fresh air.
Yes. That breath of fresh air, the oxygenation aspect, is the critical differentiator here.
Because of the anaerobic bacteria we talked about?
Exactly. We established that the unbearable rotten egg smell comes specifically from those anaerobic bacteria, which only thrive in oxygen-starved environments.
Right.
By releasing oxygen directly into the dense sludge layer, the tablet actively disrupts the habitat that the odor-causing bacteria require to survive.
So you're forcibly flipping the tank's environment from anaerobic back to aerobic.
You are. The oxygen physically suppresses the bad bacteria, while simultaneously supercharging the new beneficial bacteria that the tablet just released.
That is so smart.
It really is. These newly introduced healthy bacteria can now efficiently digest the organic waste, dramatically reducing the volume of sludge.
And less sludge means?
As that physical buildup gets eaten away, you get cleaner pipes, fewer slow drains, and the total elimination of those trapped, foul-smelling gases.
The homeowner experiences I read through heavily support this biological shift, too. There was one user dealing with that persistent hot weather yard odor, and they noted the backyard smell finally started fading after using SEPTIFIX for about a month.
Which aligns perfectly with the biological process.
Right. It's not an instant chemical mask. It's a gradual structural correction of the ecosystem.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time for the new bacterial colony to firmly establish itself and begin physically breaking down months or even years of accumulated sludge.
And the improvements happen indoors, too. Another user mentioned battling a stubborn, faint sewage smell near a bathroom drain. They tried cleaning it constantly with bleach and foaming cleaners, and nothing worked long-term.
Of course not.
But after incorporating the monthly tablet routine, the smell eventually vanished completely.
Because the hydrogen sulfide gases were no longer being produced at the source, there was literally nothing left to travel back up the pipes.
Beyond the physical elimination of the smell, a really interesting theme emerged in these testimonials. The psychological benefit.
Oh, I'm sure.
Several users mentioned that treating their septic tank with a biological additive changed how they viewed their home. They started treating it like routine HVAC maintenance or, changing the water heater filter.
Normal home stuff.
Yeah, it brought them peace of mind. They knew they were performing preventative care rather than just waiting in dread for a catastrophic, expensive emergency.
That psychological shift from panic to stewardship is profound. I mean, it moves the homeowner out of a reactive state, waging a stressful war on a sudden smell, and into a proactive state of managing their home's vital infrastructure.
Stewardship sounds great, but at what point are we just tossing a probiotic into a severed artery?
Right, right.
We have to clearly define the limits here, because the data is very clear that biological maintenance is not a magic cure-all for every problem. How do we differentiate between a system that desperately needs a biological boost and a system that is physically, mechanically broken?
This is a vital distinction for any homeowner to make. Biological additives are designed to support health and perform maintenance. They are absolutely not a replacement for repairing a damaged, collapsed, or failing mechanical system.
So there are severe red flags where a tablet is simply not going to save you.
Oh, completely.
We're talking about raw sewage actively backing up into the bathtubs, standing pools of water near the drain field in the yard,
Yes.
constant toilet backups no matter what you do, loudly gurgling pipes throughout the entire home, or extremely strong, overpowering sewage odors that just don't fade.
Those are major issues.
So what is the actual line between my tank needs bacteria and my tank is actively flooding my property and I need to call the professionals?
The clearest way to divide the two is this. Routine odors and slow drains are a biological cry for help.
Okay.
That is your microbiome struggling to keep up. But standing water and gurgling pipes? Those are loud mechanical alarms.
I see.
If there is standing water in your yard, your drain field is physically saturated, blocked, or structurally compromised. A biological tablet cannot repair a collapsed PVC pipe or drain a fluid field.
That makes total sense.
And if your pipes are loudly gurgling every time you drain the sink, you likely have a hard physical blockage or a blocked venting pipe trapping air. When physics and mechanics fail, you must call a professional immediately.
So biological symptoms require biological treatments, mechanical symptoms require professional inspection.
Exactly.
And even if your system is structurally healthy, homeowners have to pair biological treatments with proactive daily habits. I saw this over and over in the notes. The cardinal rule of septic ownership: fiercely guard what goes down the drain.
Yes.
No baby wipes, no feminine hygiene products, no hot grease poured down the kitchen sink, and no paper towels.
I cannot stress the wipe issue enough. Even if a package of wipes is boldly labeled flushable, do not flush it.
They're lying to us.
They are. They do not break down in the tank's ecosystem and will physically choke the baffles in the drain field.
We also have to factor in water efficiency, right? A massive influx of water entering the tank all at once physically disturbs the biological balance and stirs up the sludge layer.
It creates total chaos in there.
And just to be clear, regular pumping is still absolutely required for the lifespan of the system. It's just that now you're scheduling pumps of a healthy, functioning tank based on its capacity and your household size, rather than desperately pumping a dead tank in a panicked attempt to stop a terrible smell.
Exactly. You transition to managing the volume of the system rather than trying to cure a chronic infection.
The overarching takeaway from all these accounts and biological data is that maintaining a quiet, odorless home requires working in absolute harmony with the unseen bacteria beneath our feet, rather than waging a constant chemical war against them.
It really requires a fundamental respect for the biological process happening in the dark. If we connect this to our daily routines, it really challenges our modern mindset. We have this deep-seated expectation of out of sight, out of mind when it comes to plumbing.
Totally.
We flush the handle, the problem vanishes, end of story. But it doesn't vanish. It immediately enters a living, breathing ecosystem that we are entirely responsible for sustaining.
Which brings up one last thought for you to chew on regarding that ecosystem. Think about the sheer volume of water a modern washing machine forces through your pipes.
Oh, gallons and gallons.
Next Sunday, when you decide to power through 5 massive loads of laundry in a single afternoon, ask yourself, is your home's hidden ecosystem really prepared for that sudden tidal wave of water and heavy detergent?
Probably not.
Or are you just completely drowning your hardest working microscopic roommates? We'll leave you to mull that over. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep asking questions, keep looking below the surface, and we'll catch you next time.